then you get seen, you get noticed. And if you're doing a good job, you got a good chance to get hired. And if not, we write resumes and cover letters in the program as well. And we get out there and we get in that computer and start looking for work as well. But most of the clinical sites, we have about, I would say 10. And right now it's a lot of hiring. A lot of temporary agencies love to hire the graduates as well. I'm gonna move on, okay? Oh, look at that. 96% completion rate. That's pretty good, guys. So again, a good reason for coming to a technical college is because we teach you that hands-on skill. We actually get involved, get in there, start not only learning the book, but how to actually do it on the job. And like I say, once you go into your clinical, it's really pretty much up to you. Entry-level position for healthcare. Now, what I mean about that is this position, you get inside working in hospitals, doctor's office, blood centers, reference laboratories. Now that you're an employee after you get your probation time, which is usually 90 days, what happens is, depending on where you work and if your employer offers it, they have tuition reimbursement. So let's say that you want to get an entry level, start working, but then you want to do something else in another level. Well, guess what? Your job will help pay your tuition by giving you tuition reimbursement. As long as you pass the class, show them that you pass, you're going to get your books and some help with, again, the tuition, the payment for the program. You do that each time, you take another program, keep taking another program, you pass your class, and you know what? You've not only gone, one or two levels up, you've also, as long as you're still working there, you've created seniority, meaning if you've done 2 years of school and work, you're 2 years old in that facility, in that company. So if they have positions that you went to school for, again, you're leveling up and you're still not at zero now. You still got 2 years in for employment and gaining more. So that's what some folks do. It is a long-term career for other folks too. Long-term career for other folks. So meaning I have some people that I've been teaching for 23 years at Renton Tech College. And I have some folks still in their first year, still, from my first year, I should say, still working. That means they've been working in their jobs for 23 years. It's beautiful seeing them out there too. They're doing a great job. There's a lot of job opportunity. Sometimes just take a look in like Indeed.com or what's another good one? Who sends me one? Well, that's my favorite, so I'm very partial to them. But any other websites, or go straight to the hospital websites. They have a lot of good positions there available for you. Now, even though we still have a one program class, or excuse me, not a one program, 1/4 program class, I should say, keep in mind, we're still under the COVID. So that means I have to teach you remotely through the computer, everything but your lab skills and when you go to clinical. Even when we go to lab skills, we still have our 6 feet, we have blue tape around. The only time we really engage under that distance is when we're actually drawing blood. There's a spring, a fall, and a winter starts. Keep that in mind. Sometimes if enrollment is high, we do the, excuse me, summer quarter. One last thing I was telling you, and I kind of alluded to it with when you want to level up and working in a job too. The pathways for the healthcare, oh my goodness, there are so many. Phlebotomy is an entry level, not only to work as a employer, I should say, but it's also a good direction to that's embedded in other programs. And I'll save that. Let's talk about that a little later. We'll go to the next slide. Yeah, what happened? Okay. There. Phlebotomy has 5 different components. So what I'm saying, there are 5 different classes or courses you have to take in phlebotomy within the 90 days. The first one is fundamentals. Second, the lab skills, which we do on campus. Fundamentals is remote. Healthcare, CPR and first aid, which the theory part of healthcare for CPR and first aid is in the computer, and you only get to do the hands-on. Okay. From there, we have 110 hours of practical. Again, meaning going to a clinical site where you, at turn, you get to go in and work on real live patients. And this will be everything that we worked up to. And this is where you can sometimes get hired. Once you've completed all of those, on the last day of class, you will take the national exam. Now, the national exam, you can still be employed if you don't pass it. But sometimes the employers give these students, then prospective, I should say, employee, what'll happen is you'll get $1 more if you have passed that national exam. Let's say you didn't pass the national exam the first go round. You're allowed to take it again. The second time, you have to wait 30 days, but you can take it again. This program also offers you, I should say, a lot of, we do this remote, but a lot of education, a lot of testing, knowledge, quizzes to prep you for that national exam. And if you really do the work, most pass. What do you learn in fundamentals? Yeah, there's that legal stuff that we have to learn. All of the ethical issues, yeah, they come out because that's how we keep patients safe. Not only patients, that's how we keep ourselves safe. The clinical setting, we're going to learn what those departments mean, where to take our specimens to. The anatomy, physiology, don't shy away from that, and medical terminology. It's all related to phlebotomy, just how it relates to phlebotomy, nothing else. We're going to learn all types of rules, policy, regulations, and we need to. Again, that's how we keep safe, keep our patients safe. That's right. Pre-analytical errors. Now, this is exactly what I'm talking about this week in my class currently right now. And that is, we're going to learn what happens when phlebotomist draws blood the wrong way and we create false test results for patients. We're going to learn that. Special handling. Do you know there's some tests we have to keep warm and sometimes keep in our hand and take them to the lab? Other tests, we've got to give them a bath. We give them a bath, a cold bath. We put them in the ice, the blood tubes. So these are things that we have to learn. This is why we go to class. This is why we have that lab to get hands-on and learn all of that. Even non-blood specimens. Yeah, think about what the body releases. So we even have to deal with and process those type of specimens as well. Any questions up here so far, Meredith? Okay, now keep going. At the college where I teach Renton Tech, the students, I guess we wear red. I don't At first, I didn't think about the relationship between the relevance between the two, but we wear red scrubs, and everyone on campus knows, oh, those are the phlebotomists. Sometimes we're called vampires, yeah, but it happens. Now, lab skills the students really love because this is where you actually get to hold those needles, everything we learned for theory, we all put it together and we perform it. We actually do it and in our lab skills here. We spend 77 hours teaching, learning how to draw blood safely, how to use the right tube for the right test, because there's about 11 different color tubes, and all of them are relates to a certain department, a certain test, and specimen type. This is why we have to do our lab skills, 77 hours.
So Simone, I have a question. Elizabeth wanted to know, is there anything else you draw besides blood?
No. Okay, so phlebotomist, let's talk about that. For phlebotomy, we take out blood. Phlebotomist, we never infuse patients with anything. Now, if that's what you like, then you want to be you have to be an RN level. Then RNs technically are have the education to insert IVs, and that's who puts in lines, IV lines in the veins to get some medicine sometimes or fluids. You have to, it's called IV team, IV therapist, but you have to have the full education as a nurse, an RN, registered nurse. Did I answer the question? Okay. Again, so phlebotomist, we draw from the back of the hand. We will learn how to draw from the back of the hand, the inside part of the arm, where we have three major veins. We learn where they're called, where they're at, even what veins feel like. If you have a moment, well, let's just take a moment. Feel your vein. Feel your vein on your back of your hand. That's called the dorsal. What does it feel like? Is it hard or is it soft? Is it springy or is it bouncy? These are things that we learn. Now in lab skills, we would also learn, take your two fingers if you can, take on your two fingers, either arm, and put them right by that wrist on the bone, right by the wrist on the bone. Do you feel anything there? I bet you do.
So Simone, is there anything that you practice on besides people?
You mean before we start drawing blood?
Yes.
Yes. We use styrofoam first. Second, we use mannequins. And third, we start drawing with the actual person. Yeah. And by the time, if you want to put it in time frame, I would say by our fifth, the end of the week, we're drawing blood. From the same week that we started, we're drawing blood. See, that's where the skill comes in. That's where the art comes in, the confidence. So we have to start at some point. I'm going to move to the next slide. That is where you're going to get your CPR and first aid training within that time frame. Then you go to that externship, as I was mentioning. This is where students, they just love it. This is where you shine. This is where you get so excited. You know, you're so proud of yourselves because everything that you worked up to, when you go to your externship, my goodness, and the not only me, I'm not there. Now you have other people telling you that, wow, you're a good blood drawer, you're a good phlebotomist. And sometimes, like I say, if they have a position, they spend 3 weeks with you, they will want to hire you. And that's how it's done. It's that easy. Folks don't believe it, but it really is. I've been doing it 23 years, guys. Come see me. That's your national exam certificate once you pass. There's a few testimonies. There's that success rate I was talking about. Information how to get to me to sign up to the program. That's our timeline again. It takes that 12 weeks to handle, but we can do it. 1/4. That talks about me. You don't want to know that.
So Simone, you have 5 minutes.
Yep. Here's some pathways I was discussing. Anesthesiology tech needs phlebotomy, needs a part of phlebotomy. So if you want to be anesthesiology tech, you would still have to have phlebotomy. So see, another reason to come see me. Medical assistants, they need phlebotomy. Registered nursing, they need phlebotomy. You can already get some prereqs. There's information of finding me. And do you have any questions?
And if you want, you could all come off mute. Besides hospitals and clinics, is there anywhere else they could work, Simone?
Yes, you work at reference laboratories. That's where your doctor wants you to get a blood draw and you go a certain place and get that blood draw. You can work at blood centers. Oh my goodness, research. Oh wow. Let's say you don't even like phlebotomy, but you took the class. There's positions you can work at the front desk with. There's specimen processing where you spin the specimens down, take them to departments, and you don't even have to draw the blood. So there's many ways that phlebotomy gets you started until you figure out you want something else, or you decide, you know what, I really love this, and stay where you're doing.
How many years have you been at this? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I've been teaching for 23 years.
Oh, wow.
I started drawing blood right out of high school.
Oh, it's wonderful. You must love what you do.
I do. I really wanted to share because right out of high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. You know, I didn't have a job. A person said, come on, let me teach you phlebotomy. Taught me phlebotomy, and I've been working many facilities, and yep, I loved it that much. I started teaching, and yeah. And I want to give back that to others.
So Simone, I have a friend that her and I went to high school together, and she became a phlebotomist, and now she works at a blood bank, and now she coordinates delivering blood from the blood bank to various hospitals in the area. So she's a perfect example of what you said, that it's kind of a springboard. It can take you other places besides drawing blood.
Oh, definitely. It's all up to you. Yes.
And as a person that's had surgeries and several procedures, I'll tell you, it's really important that you have a good phlebotomist.
That is correct.
When you've had a bad one, you realize how important those good ones are.
Yeah.
So folks that are joining, participants, I really want to thank you for having sharing this experience with me, having the interest of it. I hope I gave you enough insight to whether you're liking it or not. And if I did.